So, a lot of people are doing the new Within Temptation right now as far as reviews go, and it's okay, I guess. I kind of don't have a lot to say about it, plus I don't have a lot of background with Within Temptation, and this is definitely one of those bands where it pays to have a lot of background before you talk about them. Look, I just don't feel like doing this one. Did anything else come out this weekend I can cover? Anything at all? Oh, hey, hello. Astronoid? I think I've totally had a case of those before. It was really embarrassing buying the cream. Nah, I kid. This recommendation actually comes via my buddy Spectrum Pulse, so if you are feeling the need for a Within Temptation review, I'm positive he wouldn't mind a bit more traffic on his video, but for the time being, what is Astronoid? Well, they're a metal band from Massachusetts that, while still fairly small, have been making some very notable waves in their young career. Their debut, Air, scored a massive amount of praise from both critics and fans, and even though they're still somewhat of a new and small act, they've already been able to score supporting gigs for bands like Animals as Leaders, Periphery, Zeal and Ardor, and even Ghost. Wow, that's super cool. So what are these guys doing so right to gather this much attention? Well, these guys are that ever so strange, ever so elusive, hard to nail down genre, post-metal. Yeah, or even more specifically, the kind of metal that mixes trance and shoegaze elements into their sound to create something intensely atmospheric and blissful, something more along the lines of your Tesseracts or your Death Heavens. This is a specific kind of metal I like to call chill metal, and man, good albums of this particular stripe can be very hard to find. Honestly, this review doesn't really need to be particularly long. I can summarize my entire thoughts on this album in one word. A rather short word at that, depending on how many extra H's you want to add to the end there. I mean, I could go into graphic detail about the dreamy, echoey vocals, the lush and pillowy guitars and bass, give you all kinds of notes about how glittery and smooth all the production elements are, but no amount of professional wordsmithing on my end is gonna be able to lay this album out for you any better than by just flat out telling you, it's relaxing, it's soothing, it's brisk. It's the musical equivalent of that nice, cool, refreshing feeling you get in your throat after taking a sip of your favorite drink on a hot summer's day. The album has just the right balance of soaring, crunchy moments and lucid, mellow dreamscapes to scratch both your itches for something heavy as well as something soft. Again, so many bands tried to pull this kind of thing off in 2018, and so many of them failed spectacularly at it. Not every band is capable of pulling off a sound like this, he said, making stern, resentful looks towards Papa Roach. Yeah, don't think just because I've reviewed you yet doesn't mean I've forgotten you, Jacoby. But these guys, they've been pulling off the ultra dreamy moodscapes since their inception. They obviously have a natural knack for it. This gets it right. Brett Borland has a soft and sweet sounding high register vocal delivery. It's a type of singing that reminds me almost of, who here remembers the Temper Trap? Anyone? Anyone remember Temper Trap? It's okay, I don't blame you. They weren't big. But his voice is very high pitched and has a very, very distinct tonality to it. It might take a bit of getting used to for some of you, especially some of the more hardcore metalheads out there, I feel ya, but once it clicks, you will really come to admire it. But if there is one thing I have to praise to heaven and back about this album, it's Matt St. John's amazing drum work. Honestly, his performance on this is what makes it a metal record. He is annihilating his kit on this thing. He's bringing down all kinds of rampaging, thunderous, splashy beats and tons of double kick pedal onto this thing. It's weird. If you told me on paper that he was going to be doing this kind of aggressive, angry, furious drumming on an album that was going for this kind of atmospheric, moody, sort of tonescape kind of feel, I would have thought it was madness, but hearing it in action, goddamn, it works. It works really well. The dude is clearly onto something here. Overall, this was a surprisingly relaxing morsel of a release. I dug the hell out of this record, and the more I listen to it, the more it grows on me. I really, really like this thing. Astronoid are definitely a band with a wellspring of yet-to-be uncovered potential and a very unique sense of sound, scope, and identity. People... I'm just saying, you might want to board this train early before it really starts to take off. And if you are going to jump on, I recommend grabbing a comfy pillow for the trip while you're at it. Astronoid gets 4.5 out of 5.
Super special thanks to